The Pokemon Sun and Moon anime has been up to some shenanigans, and it's been a while since I've talked about it, so I think now is a good time to get everyone caught up to speed with what's happening in the Pokemon anime. First off, Dusk Lycanroc is getting angry, so we're learning a bit more about Dusk Lycanroc's temperament. It seems to be mostly tied in with Ash's Dusk Lycanroc, but either way, it still shows off the red eyes, which is kind of cool. And then most importantly, the thing that everyone's been hearing about and waiting for is what is up with Lillie? Why does she say she can't touch Pokemon? Well, we actually figure out that little part of the backstory, so let's get into it. Now, another thing that I'm also really excited about in the anime is Gladion is showing off his type Null. So recently, we had Ash's Dusk Lycanroc and Gladion's type Null battle. It's just cool to see type Null work out because now we're going to start learning more about type Null as well, and we get a little bit of exposition in the anime at the same time. Now, as for the eyes, we've already seen it for a while, that one of the earlier details in the Dusk Lycanroc trailers and screenshots when we were first getting news about Dusk Lycanroc is that whenever it attacks, its eyes glow red, which is kind of cool. I think there was also like some kind of extra thing that when Dusk Lycanroc gets angry, its eyes turn red, so that's kind of like one thing that keeps expanding upon this Pokemon, and man, we've been seeing this with Ash's Dusk Lycanroc, and it's kind of freaky. You know, they go really over the top with the anime style when Ash's Dusk Lycanroc gets upset, but of all the things, it just wants to be pretty. Like, that's kind of like the interesting plot point that we have right now, that whenever Dusk Lycanroc's mane gets soiled, its eyes turn red, it gets scowly, and then it just goes for the attacks. That's something pretty crazy to break down, but I also think it's kind of interesting because, like, you see how much the fur stands up with Dusk Lycanroc, but then when it gets wet, it all just kind of falls down, and then Ash's Lycanroc gets, like, super upset about that. And another reason why I want to talk about Dusk Lycanroc is because since we're learning more about the red eye thing and it is a trait coming over from the Midnight Lycanroc, I'm wondering if that's actually like Midnight Lycanroc's secret, that it's always angry or something. I just thought it was something interesting to take note of. But now, let's talk about Lillie. Because for those of you guys who were around for the Pokemon Sun and Moon news, when we first got the information about Lillie, no one knew what to make of this girl. And then when the information came out that she couldn't touch Pokemon, like with the early anime teasers and stuff, we were like, wait, what's going on with her? As we can see right here, she's not fond of making Pokemon fight in battles, but she loves reading and has devoured many books. She'll play an important role in the story in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. And then after we saw Nihilego, it's like, wait a second, is Lillie an Ultra Beast? And then we heard she can't touch Pokemon. It's like, is that why Lillie can't touch Pokemon? Because Lillie's an Ultra Beast, and if a Pokemon touches her, like, weird things happen because we don't even know anything about Ultra Beasts. Like, does an Ultra Beast consume a Pokemon, or is there like some kind of unstable interaction? But then, like, as we see, it's like Lillie ends up interacting with Pokemon at some point in the anime. Pokemon touch her and nothing bad happens, and then she ends up catching a Pokemon of her own. But then we get the story breakdown from Gladion as to what happened. She was attacked by an Ultra Beast. Now, I don't think this is the most surprising thing, but it is interesting that up until this point in the anime, it hadn't been discussed, and there really wasn't anything going on with Pokemon Sun and Moon about it. Now, I will be interested in seeing if this carries over, because it seems like the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime is effectively becoming the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon anime. A lot of these story points are kind of transitioning over into Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon from the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. So as we can see right here, she was attacked by an Ultra Beast, and it looks like kind of the standard Ultra Beast attack stuff that we've seen before. You know, Nihilego jumps on your head, it starts to possess you, and then crazy things happen. We can kind of look at this from the Pokemon Daisuke Club mystery. That from one of the mystery things, they gave like all those promotional pictures of Ultra Beasts, and they just look absolutely terrifying. But then we can tie that in with the Pokedex entry as well. One of several mysterious Ultra Beasts. People on the street report observing those infested by it suddenly becoming violent, and now it makes a lot more sense. You know, we see these old people, they get possessed by it, guy grabs just a pipe and starts beating up a freaking bench, like, just immediate anger, and then you get possessed. They had this old lady just kind of screaming and throwing a trash can. And then looking at this kid, you know, this kid just needs to accept their parents are dead and run away before bad things happen to him. I mean, we see another Nihilego kind of buzzing around. So that's another interesting point, is I want to know what happened. Because up until this point, there hasn't really been much on the Ultra Beast, but now that we're starting to progress the story, apparently the Ultra Beast invaded years ago. And maybe that's also kind of shows what Lucamine's up to and where the rest of the story is going to go. If that also could play a role in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because that's a twist right there. It's like, wait, it's not shocking that Lillie was attacked by an Ultra Beast. It's more shocking how long ago it happened and just how much of an issue Ultra Beasts have been in the past. Now it's getting more and more frequent and things need to be dealt with. But then we go into the Type Null storyline as well. The one who saved us back then was Type Null. So Type Null saved Lillie and Gladion because Gladion wasn't strong enough. He was just a kid as well. Couldn't really help out his sister with that. So Type Null came in, and then that goes in Type Null's storyline. Because Type Null was created to defend from a certain threat. And I guess that's another way that you can maybe understand that the Ultra Beast problem has been going on for a while in the Alola region, because you can't just create something like Type Null overnight. I mean, even think about Mewtwo, you know, that was years of cloning, years of research and stuff like that. When it goes into Type Null, you know, you just can't slam a couple of Pokemon parts together and expect the first one to be perfect. And even then, Type Null was seen as a failure, but then Gladion was able to free one the Type Null and was still strong enough to work out against the Ultra Beast. So that's kind of interesting. Then we can see Lillie must have suppressed the memory because it was so terrifying. And I'd imagine it would be very terrifying as well. And also that could just be a trait of the Nihilego, that we're starting to get into the mind control territory if it's possessing you. So maybe any of those memories are deleted, and maybe a little before, a little after. Like the entire encounter with a Nihilego is something that you just don't remember. Or maybe it is so terrifying that the memory is suppressed. And then we get a little more on Gladion's goal. Since the Ultra Beast hurt his sister, he wants to use Type Null, and he wants to defeat every last Ultra Beast. So that's pretty cool. I want to see that kind of come out a lot more in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as well. I want to see Gladion just have just a blind rage and just an extreme anger towards all the Ultra Beasts. Now there's more Ultra Beasts coming in and invading. Now that it seems like, you know, Necrozma is starting to share a lot more of these storyline interactions with the Ultra Beasts as well. So I'm wondering if Gladion's going to get a bit more face time with that. And then we have all this Silvally promotional material. We have all this stuff that's going on. Looks like Silvally is going to have something very special happen in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which just means things for Gladion. I'm wondering if this is another aspect of build-up. Much like we had the leaks, we had merchandise leaks, we had the anime kind of taking this interesting path with Ash's Rockruff. You know, it wanted to evolve for a while, showing signs of evolution, but at the same time, nothing added up. It's like, wait, why would he get the midday Lycanroc when that's Olivia's, and then why would he get midnight Lycanroc when Gladion's kind of becoming a soft rival? I don't see the mirror match kind of working out in either situation. So because of that, we were able to piece that together, and maybe with this, you know, Gladion might step up and have a much bigger role, and because of that, Type Null going into Silvally has a bigger role since Ultra Beast are playing a bigger role in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So that's kind of it, guys. Mystery's been solved. It took about a year to figure out what was going on, which is pretty crazy to think about. But then we're also seeing a bit more on Dusk Lycanroc, so just a little bit more hype. You know, we're getting those story undertones for Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and you know what? It's pretty good. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.